Major General in the United States Marine Corps. He had received the Congressional Medal of Honor for valor in his actions in the 1968 skirmish in the Vietnam theater. Livingston had an impeccable career lasting over 33 years. Livingston has written multiple books, made multiple public speeches. Since his retirement, General Livingston has served on a board of trustees for the United States World War II Memorial Museum. Livingston is also one of the co-founders of Veterans for Fred Thompson. He's also a political supporter of the Republican Party. There was a funny ad once where he had actually said that Obama is the commander-in-chief with training wheels. Let's get more into this man's life. James Livingston was born January 12, 1940 in Towns, Georgia, graduated Lumber City High School in 1957, entered North Georgia College at State University in 1957, was a member of the school's nationally recognized Corps of Cadets until he transferred to pursue a major that the school did not have. In 1962, he earned his Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering at Auburn University. He was commissioned a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps in June of 1962. Livingston's early assignments included service as a platoon commander, intelligence officer, and as a recruit training regiment series commander. Promoted to captain in June of 1966, Livingston served as commanding officer of the Marine Detachment aboard the aircraft carrier USS Wasp before joining the 3rd Marine Division, the Republic of Vietnam, in 1967. With the insertion of troops and the escalation of the Vietnam War, Livingston was deployed to Vietnam in charge of the 2nd Marine Battalion, 4th Regiment, or Magnificent Bastards as they become famously known. The Cura Viet River served as a vital supply line for the 3rd Marine Division in northern Quang Tri Province, running the Cura Viet base to the Dong Hai Combat Base, which in turn supported the Marine bases along the demilitarized zone. This would become one of the most violent, bloody battles of the entire Vietnam conflict and would change Livingston's life forever. On April 30th, 1968, Livingston would lead the Bastards in the most violent battle in Vietnam.
By the time we got to the Battle of Dai, we had 800 Marines up against 10,000 North Vietnamese, and it was a slugfest for about 3 days.
For the 9 months prior, Livingston prepped and trained his men to be ready for this day.
In time we got to the Battle of Dido, after being there for about 9 months, the company was exceptionally well trained, ready to do the big fights.
Livingston would rally his own men, and he'd be down there with them the entire fight.
And so we commenced the assault about 5 o'clock, and 180 Marines fixed bayonets. I told them to fix bayonets, and because I wanted to get something that really engender them, in fact, if this thing is for real, and it turned out to be a tough one. We went across the open rice paddy, so 500 meters. We seized about 100 bunkers that were mutually coordinated and supporting one another, and I don't know how many UVA we killed 400 or 500.
At 5 a.m. on 2nd of May, Company E, led by Livingston, attacked the northeast from a lock towards Company G's position near the Dai Dai to face a heavy Viet Cong fire. Meanwhile, Company G attacked PAVN positions in the southern Dai, knocking out bunkers with white phosphorus grenade satchels charged in M72 LAW. By 9:30, Company E and G had secured Dido. With Dido secured, the Marines sought to squeeze the PVAN with a hammer and anvil approach, while the ARVN mechanized battalion would secure the hamlets of Dong Lai and Thong Nia and establish blocking position. Marines would not attack northwest, taking hamlets of Dien To and Thuong Do. At 1 o'clock, Company H attacked northwest from heavy Dido towards Dinh to face of heavy fire, which stalled their advance through the hamlet, and the PAVN counterattacked, and the company commander radioed that he was in danger. Company E, only numbering 30 men, immediately moved towards to support Company N, pushing away the Viet Cong defenses until their counterattacks stopped. Both companies were ordered back to Dido under cover of Marine airstrike. On May 2nd, Company E attacked northeast from an LOC lock towards Company G's position near the Dido and faced a heavy PAVN fire. Meanwhile, Company G attacked PAVN positions in southern Dido, knocking out bunkers with white phosphorus grenades, satchel charges, and M72s. By 9:30 a.m., Livingston and Company E had secured their areas along the Dido River. The Marines sought to squeeze the People's Army with a hammer and anvil approach. The Marines began to attack northwest, taking the hamlets of Dien To and Thuong Do. At 1 o'clock, Company H attacked northwest from Dido towards Dinto in the face of heavy People's Army fire, which stalled their advance through the hamlet. The People's Army then counterattacked the company commander, who radioed that he was in danger of being overrun. Company E, although numbering only 30 men, immediately moved toward to support Company H, pushing forward into the People's Army defense until a large People's Army counterattack stopped their advance and threatened to overwhelm them. Livingston and the 30 men immediately moved forward to support Company H, pushing forward into the PAVN defense until the large PAVN counterattack stopped their advance and threatened to overwhelm them. Both companies were ordered back to Dido under cover of Marine airstrikes. Whole liaison with the ARVN Mechanized Battalion, which was now west of the Dido, and was agreed that they'd advance 1 kilometer north to Thongneo while the Marines renewed their attack in Din 2. By 4 o'clock on Din 2, resumed Company G in the lead, followed by Company F. Company G pushed through the now lightly defeated Dinto and reached the outskirts of Thongdo, which had stopped the PAVN fire from across the stream. The total Marine losses for the day were 40 in that area, while the PAVN losses were almost 380. Livingston would receive the Congressional Medal of Honor during this battle. He was also wounded in action, shot twice.
And it turned out to be a tough one. We went across the open rice paddy, so 500 meters. We seized about 100 bunkers that were mutually coordinated and supporting one another. And I don't know how many MVA we killed. We killed 400 or 500. Back and forth Marines Echo Company. And we were responsible for operations against the North Vietnamese and the Viet Cong. There was no such thing as a typical mission. I would develop my own plan for the company, then I issued my orders. We commenced the assault. I mean, we were lucky in another company had been destroyed basically in that same area the day before. And I only had 35 Marines left, so I really didn't have the capacity at that point to continue the attack. I just finally said to hell with it. I only had 35 Marines left, so I really didn't have the capacity at that point to continue the attack. About 250 yards up from us and got surrounded. And I just finally said to hell with it. I said, told my Marines we're packing up and we're going to support our fellow Marines. I didn't order them. I said, I'm going if you guys want to go, because they'd been through a hell of a fight all day. And they all joined up. All 35 of them actually ran up to join the other Marines. So they were fighting for their life. They started coming at us in very, very large numbers. But I'll tell you, the young Marines, they were well trained. They took care of their buddies. They took care of the battlefield. And they were great fighters. And it was about some of the most nasty fighting that you could imagine. Be the best Marine you can be. A couple of little loads together, and the Marines fought well. A couple of little loads together, and the Marines fought well.
During the epic Battle of Dido, Livingston, leading Company Echo, took a shot from a .50 caliber to the leg. On May 14, 1970, Livingston was awarded the Medal of Honor, presented to him by President Richard E. Nixon. Livingston would return to Vietnam in 1975 as an operations officer to oversee the evacuation protocol of Saigon. Livingston was selected to attend the London United Kingdom Marine Unit. He would graduate from the Marine Corps Command and Staff College in 1977 and attend Air Warfare College and received his master's degree in 1981. Livingston would be advanced to Major General on July 8, 1991 and assumed command of the 4th Marine Division until his retirement in 1994. Since his retirement, he's written books, been involved in politics, and sits on the chairman of the World War II Museum Foundation.